Hi everybody, I'm Marian Lefeld and I am an artist and also an educator based in Dallas, Texas, in North Texas. Thank you so much for having me and for inviting me to be the juror for the Lone Star College Fine Arts Gallery student juried show this year, 2024. It's been an absolute pleasure working with Christine Lawson, your gallery coordinator, and also really getting to see the work produced by the school and Lone Star College Kingwood. And I'm very impressed. I've been very impressed with the production and with the number of work that you've been able to output for for me to jury this semester. So let me start by talking a little bit about myself today before I go ahead and introduce the honorary mentions and also the winners of awards. Well, again, thank you so much for having me, and just wanted to share with you guys that if you hear a little bit of an accent, it's true. I have an accent. I'm actually from Caracas, from Venezuela in South America, not in Mexico. You have no idea how many times I've been told that, so yeah. But came to the United States about 30 years or so, a little bit under 30 years ago, and like many of you, started my studies, my career in the arts at a community college here in Dallas. I was very lucky to count and to have great support from faculty and had met many of whom are today still are my friends, and some of them are colleagues here at Richland or at Dallas College Richland campus. And we get now to actually teach the new generation of artists and educators and art educators. It's been really a thrill of a career and of a path into this moment. So I'm very grateful for so much in my life. Particularly for the opportunity that community colleges offer some of us who may or may not be non-traditional students. I was a mother of two young daughters when I first started at Dallas College, and back then it was Brookhaven College, and it was fascinating. It was an incredible experience and opportunity for me to be able to go to school and take maybe two classes. Sometimes it was just one class, and little by little earn the necessary credits to transfer to a four-year college. I eventually transferred to Southern Methodist University here in Dallas, where I earned my BFA, and later was accepted again, of course, with all incredible scholarships to complete my MFA. I graduated in 2013. You can do the math. It took me a long time to go from one place to the other, from not having a degree whatsoever, starting from zero, all the way to earning a master's degree, and then becoming a full-time faculty member at Dallas College. So over the years, I've been teaching now 11 years, graduated almost 12 years ago. I've been tasked with the responsibility of jurying art shows. The last one I did was the Society of Artists, or the Art Society in Shreveport, Louisiana, for which I traveled, and it was just such a lovely little town. And I always jury shows in a very similar manner or approach. I have a very sort of intuitive approach. Of course, I've traveled, and I'm just a massive art consumer of images, consumer of other artworks, of films, of TV, you name it, anything visual, I like it, right? And I just eat it up. So over the years, I've created sort of kind of an internal, I like to call it, for those of you who can remember, if you're around my age, like a Rolodex or sort of an index of millions of images, so that when I encounter new works, there's things that resonate at different levels. And of course, there's a whole like massive classification of those images in terms of how they move me, whether it's something that it's deeply personal, or maybe something that has to do with, you know, my own filters, right? We all have filters, whether, you know, middle-aged woman from Venezuela or a young American student in Kingwood, Houston, outside of Houston. You know, you have your own experiences which will have formed you into what you are today. So that's something that it's always important to recognize, I think, you know, the fact that we have our filters. But nevertheless, it's also important to know about, or to understand a bit about craftsmanship, and also about technique in whether it's 2D media or 3D media. I hope you guys, those of you who are taking classes today at Lone Star College Kingwood, that you're not only taking a drawing or a painting class, but you're also going into the 3D realm, right? Whether it's ceramics or sculpture, photography, you name it. I think it's very important to be well versed in multidisciplinary or backgrounds, if you will, to become well versed. And that happens is through the experience of making, right? Building that muscle memory and that hand-eye coordination. So the way I experience, or the way I approach jurying can be intuitive, right? But there's also some sort of objective aspects that I like to look at. I don't just go by my interior reactions to works, or positive reactions, that is. But also, yeah, there's a little bit of intuition, but also the level craftsmanship, the level in which the skill a student or an artist is able to display through their work. So there's objective as well as subjective approach, if you will, to the process of jurying a show. Again, I was very impressed with the work that you guys created. You should feel very proud of yourself. I would want to also encourage you to not only continue your studies in art, but to find a mentor, to speak to not just your peers, but your professors. And sometimes a mentor can be found in the mathematics program, or in the science building, or maybe in the foreign languages department. So be curious and try to connect as much as possible. Studying, being in college is such a special time, and it's also a time that goes quite fast, especially when you're having a good time, like I did in my, back in the day. It's also very important to bring an open mindset to the learning process, and one that you can, sort of develop that muscle, right? To create, or to have this openness to creativity. Creativity is something that we all carry, we all have, and we can all develop as well with time and of course with practice, as of course you may know. And finally, the fact that you guys are, the students are exposed to professional artists, to a wonderful gallery coordinator, director in Chris Larson, to a school that supports the arts. My goodness, it's like you guys can really grasp and follow the lead of these professionals, and to learn really what does it mean, right, to have a career in the arts. I think it's very important as well. So I also now wanted to shift gears and really talk about you, the winners. And first off, big congratulations. Whether you won or you enter but your work was not selected for this exhibition, I want you to congratulate yourself. Give you a pat in the back. Why? Because it takes a great deal of courage and organization to photograph, to submit the form, to fill out the form, to submit it in a timely manner before the due date. All of these things are part of professional practice and are quite important and actually formative for your future careers. There's also sort of the anticipation, to the waiting time, if you will, between the day that you submit and today, right? The day when you're gonna hear who won. But before that, I really want to emphasize, encourage you guys to congratulate yourselves in, taking the courage to submit work. Those who got in, of course, an extra congratulations. If you didn't get in, know that we've all been there, and it helped us thicken our skins. We've all here in this room, I can assure you, your professors, your mentors have oftentimes been told no's. I like to say that I'm a 300 batter, in that, with a reference to baseball, right? Every 10 times that I go to bat, I strike a hit 3 times. So consider that as a matter of sort of giving you a little bit of context in terms of how rejection is also part of being an artist. And it's not really rejection. Sometimes the jurors just have a limited amount of awards that we can give. And it's not just a rejection, it's just that it didn't happen this time. And I hope you consider and continue applying to shows in the future. Please do not get discouraged. So, let the wait end now. So I'm very happy to announce that the honorary mention, and I'm actually going to divide the awards into 2 parts. I'm going to start with 3D or 3-dimensional artworks. And I'd like to congratulate Kristen Yoders for your work, Strawberry Donut. This beautiful 3.5 by 3.5 inch work, or in diameter, I should say. Just so colorful, so playful, happy. It brings all kinds of memories from an early age of the sprinkled donuts. I thought it was just absolutely delicious. Congratulations on your honorary mention, Christine. And next, for the 3rd place, again, we're announcing right now, we're talking about the 3-dimensional artworks. I'd like to congratulate Caitlin Purcell. And forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your names, but Christine, your work, Conchas. Another work. I was not familiar with conchas until I moved here to the United States. And those are just delicious breads that have a touch of sweet on the top, and they just crackle on the top and then are very colorful. And then the bowl, I felt like your work resonated with, I don't know, this sense of particular kind of flavor. Quite beautiful work. The 2nd place for 3-dimensional artworks goes to Anne Rubin for your work, Teapot, and congratulations. What a gorgeous constructivistic, geometric artwork with the pentagrams that you've created in order to combine in order to create this beautiful geometric form. And then that glaze, right, that soft sage-like glaze reminded me of the celadon from Asia, which is so traditional and absolutely stunning. And without further ado, the 1st place for 3-dimensional artwork goes to also Caitlin Purcell. Oh my gosh, I just realized it was the same name. I wasn't really looking into your names. That's fantastic. Caitlin, your work, Converse, and this tells you that I actually like to blind the awards when I'm jurying. I don't want to see the names, and it's so funny. I'm just realizing that it's the same person. The work, A Walk Through Time, in parentheses, Converse. That's just such a wonderful work. I absolutely loved it. Not only because you just didn't do one shoe, right? One Converse, but you actually worked on the pair in such a realistic way. I thought that work was just very loud, spoke very loud, and also to the general population of students, right? 20s, sometimes late teens, 20s. When I went to school a little bit later, but it really, I think it speaks to the student, right? And walking into your shoes, and also that allegory of walk into the shoes of someone else, walk a mile in the shoes of someone else, to really be able to live someone else's experience, right? I thought that was also important and relevant for our time. So again, congratulations to all of the winners of the three-dimensional category. Fantastic work. I'm very proud of you. And now let's move on to the awards for the two-dimensional categories. And the first one, which is an honorary mention, goes to 1001 miles from you from Quing Bing Lin. And wow, what an evocative artwork, so poetic in terms of this vast landscape made in ink. It's not a small one, it's 18 by 24. It has presence as a sort of a medium sized drawing. Absolutely stunning, the way that you utilize that atmospheric perspective to suggest that sense of depth. And again, this mirroring of image, this reflection, very nice, very poetic artwork. Good work. The third place in the two-dimensional artwork category goes to Camille Lopez in your work Relax and Sit a While. Another mixed, well, it was a mixed media, two-dimensional work. I'm just wondering, like, what made you come up with this work? I did see a few works in which you guys were working from the inside of your vehicle, and I love this work because it's so representative of our car-centric styles or lifestyles, right? At least here when we're here in Texas. When I go back home, it's a little bit different. When I travel to other cities in which, where there's the pedestrian life, it's much more prominent. It just really makes me shift to or understand or really connect to our car-centric lifestyle here in Texas. Part of it is the weather, and another huge part of it is just the vastness of this state, right? The distances in between one place or another. I live close to my work. And by the way, I'm here in my studio. You can tell that I'm mostly 2D, and I also do a lot of printmakings. But again, fantastic work. Second place in two-dimensional works goes to Pots, Plates, and Pan, also by Camille Lopez. Camille, your technique in working highly reflective surfaces was outstanding. I really thought that you capture the soft mirror-like surface of these kind of domestic, everyday objects, and you really elevated them into the realm of the arts, right? Bringing them meaning through your careful observations and renderings. I really like this work. And how we can find beauty in really in the vernacular, right? In the everyday, and things that we all have in common, we all use pretty much all the time. Well, I know I do. I cook a lot. And now for the first place winner in the 2D or two-dimensional artwork category, it goes to the work title, The Mask I Wear by Gabriel Ramirez. Congratulations, Gabriel. I thought this work was very powerful in that it's a self-portrait, what I take of as a self-portrait, that it's sort of removing a mask, and yet the mask is very similar to the face that it's rendered, that it's represented in the drawing. Your handling of charcoal is also quite remarkable. I wonder if you use sort of a subtractive technique in certain areas and then blocking the rest of the surface of the paper with that, what I assume is compressed charcoal. I thought that was excellent, quite beautiful. It's also when I look at it, it just made me think of like the seriousness of the artist behind this work, right? Sort of the almost cast down eyes, but there's this stark um, face expression that, evokes in me seriousness and careful observation, and really, I guess, again, and I'm being a little redundant here, of the seriousness, which I think it's necessary when you are ambitious and you want to become an artist and you want to have the life of the artist. This work, you guys, is not for the faint of heart. It takes a great deal of courage to work and to put your work out there, to put your your materials, your technique, your skills, your heart really out there for others to judge. Again, those of you who did not receive a mention or did not receive a third, second, or first award, please know that you're already winning in terms of professional practice, in terms of pushing yourself to put your work out there. It takes a great deal of courage. And know that there's always another show coming, there's always new opportunities. And for those who today are receiving awards, hey, big congratulations. I'm proud of you. I think you guys at Lone Star College, Kingwood, have a fantastic art program. I was very impressed with the work that you do. And I hope one day maybe one of you could come and be the juror for one of our shows at Dallas College. Wouldn't that be fascinating to do some of a collaboration, if you will, or maybe we could collaborate in terms of, I don't know, assignments in classes, so that way we can kind of start or spark conversations across the state. One of the North Texas versus South Texas. So this has been a fantastic opportunity and really a joy for me, a privilege for me to be able to see your work and be able to enjoy it firsthand. So again, I wish everyone the best of luck. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of this, what I'm sure is it's a beautiful reception, a well-attended reception. And again, you guys, just wanted to let you know that, hey, this is not a sprint. A career in the arts is definitely a marathon. It's something to take over the years, have a good pace, hydrate well, always have water near you, so that you can keep going. And it takes many, many years. Maybe some of us will have recognition from others. Maybe some of us will never do. But I can tell you, it's a life of freedom and it's a life of joy. And I think that to me is just invaluable. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Have a wonderful day. And hopefully I will get to meet you guys very soon. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.